Hi and welcome. My name is Katrina and this is our Vampire the Masquerade stream titled The Tower, A City in Peril, Episode 6. I know that might be a little bit confusing because we've been giving the other episodes different numbers, but the last one was 3.1 and this is number 6, so you haven't been missing some episodes. Just so everybody knows, episode 6. And as usual, before we begin, I would like to introduce my players as well as their characters.
Hi, Marianne. I play Siobhan York, now Price. Toyador, 10th generation.
Hi, I'm Ty. I'm playing Christopher Masters, formerly Falcone. He's a 10th generation Ventru.
Hello, my name is Ørjan, and I'll be playing Sean Dempsey Deanson, 10th generation Gangrel.
All right. Last time we left our characters as I had quite an interesting discussion in the Velvet Rope before they went to their unnatural sleep. We're going to start the evening after as they arise from their unnatural sleep. And before we go into the individual scenes, I would like everybody to do a rouse check.
Well, bugger it.
Yeah, bugger
failed.
it. I failed as well.
Get one more.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. This is what I did. Natural 1.
Yes.
But you cannot botch like that on these. You just fail, so you get another hunger die.
I
So
need
take
to
one.
go out
For a
drinking.
1? Are you kidding me?
You take out one of your black ones.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You take out one of these.
I thought you
puppies.
said because it was a 1, I needed to add 2. I was like, no.
Oh, I'm not a bastard. So one of them are gone, and yeah. So how hungry is the peeps?
2 red dices.
3. I need
3.
to go out feeding.
Grr. Well, yeah, you should do soonish.
Well, it's a good thing you don't have a mortal sleeping at your place. That's the first thing you'll be smelling when you wake up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Aiden.
Aiden.
No, sorry. Yeah, before. That's all I think about. My poor baby.
From now on, everybody
Dead
else
baby.
is called Aiden.
Shiv has lost
you should
it
be-
completely.
What's new?
Aiden 1 and Aiden 2 and Aiden 3 and Aiden 4. Yep.
They're all
Angela
Aiden.
Aiden.
All right. It's a very cold evening. There's no clouds in the sky. It's speckled with stars, and the moon is up. There's a bit of a wind chill. It's not winter cold, but it's definitely the fall is starting to bite back, and summer has definitely left the building. So we're going to go into then Sean's garage as he stirs, hungry.
Very.
You feel the beast curling itself through your veins.
How cold is it outside and how cold is it inside?
At the minute, you aren't really that concerned about temperature because it doesn't really have a direct effect on you anymore.
No, but I'm thinking I'm room temperature.
I'm thinking you are, well, depending. Yeah, you should be around room temperature.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm cold. Yeah.
Well, that's because there's no heat in
Yeah.
these undead things you now are.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. I am.
You hear a radio going, and you're thinking that it would be a little before Angela should leave for her shift.
Yeah. I get up. Go into the garage.
Most of the lights are on, not work lights and such, because there's no need to. She doesn't work with your cars. You see she's shut the lights off in the area she now inhabits. And she is enjoying a cup of tea, listening to the radio and flipping through a magazine. She's wearing the Middle Eastern t-shirt, stonewashed denim jeans, and Converse. Hair up in a ponytail.
Have to have that talk sooner or later. Hey, love. You have to work now.
She's startled. Oh, shit, Sean. I thought you were out.
Yeah, I was.
She looks at the entrance point and she's looking. You're sneaky like a cat, man. How the hell did you get in here?
You know, you ain't seen me.
Phooey.
Right.
Do you want a cup of tea? I've just brewed a pot.
No, thanks. I think I've had quite enough coffee for one night.
Oh, okay. All right. More for me then.
Yeah. You have to work now.
I'll have like 40 minutes, half an hour before I need to get going.
Yeah, okay. Can you then do me a favor?
Sure.
When you get home, send me a text. I have something important to talk with you about.
Not later on after the shift.
After the shift, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It might take a while. I have a proposal for you.
All right. She looks at you strange. Cool, I think. Why are you so mysterious about it?
It might be a game changer.
Well, there's been a lot of game changers lately, so...
Yeah, this one will blow your mind, I hope.
Okay.
I touch her...
You're being so weird.
No, I just touch her shoulder, put my hand on her shoulder.
Damn, your hands are cold.
Oh, sorry, love. Sorry.
Feels like you've been in an icebox.
Feels like it. It's not. It's not summer anymore.
No, for sure. No. You feel the warmth and the blood that stirs within her. You feel your mouth starting to salivate a minute, and you're
it's like
you
I'm
see the
inhaling her scent.
Yeah, her essence. Yeah. And it's a bit so. She's like, dude, are you okay? Are you coming down with something? You look pale.
Yeah, it's been some hard weeks.
You should do another vacay. Like a proper vacay.
Yeah, I think I had one. No, I don't think I have one. Ever.
Okay. Right. Sure. She goes and takes a styrofoam cup and pours her tea in it. I'm gonna leave the tea for you because you should have it because you're cold and I'm gonna put some lemons in it. She makes another cup for you and sit in front of you, taps your head. Now you work less, chill out more, and drink your tea and get your vitamin C's. I'll take mine to go because you're being weird, and I'm gonna just let you land. You're probably doing some stuff you shouldn't be doing anyways, and that's why you're being weird. And I'll call you when I'm off. Behave
See you
now.
later then, love.
She grabs her short, like a bomber jacket, but it's quite warm.
Yeah.
And toodaloo with her cup, styrofoam cup of tea.
And then I think I need to go out for some food.
Still not something that you are particularly used to doing.
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
So how is his hunting preference? He's a bit of a scene queen, right?
Yeah, he is. What day is it?
Is it Sunday now? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Or was it Friday?
Isn't it Sunday?
Or Saturday?
Conclave was the conclave was on a Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the night after that was Saturday. So it's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, fuck. There's nobody at concerts. Nobody at fuck. Where to?
It is actually something that you are not used to in your early days at feeding, and
No.
especially feeding on your own.
No, absolutely not. Starting almost to panic. Not panic, but I'm feeling the beasts.
And also, you have to hunt humans.
Yes.
Even though you're very comfortable with the beast, there's quite a bit of humanity in Sean, and there is something still that pulls you away from humanity every time you feed.
Yeah. I think I'm going to roll intelligence streetwise to find out where and how.
Where are the peeps on a Sunday?
Yes. And
I got some notes.
that's a 1 success.
All right, we'll see. Well, you immediately think, I'm thinking because you're a little bit panicked,
Yeah.
and you feel like the beast clawing at your insides.
Yeah.
You ultimately think the alley. There's a lot of places in the alley. There's got to be some place that's jumping in the alley.
Yeah. I'm heading there.
Yep. He trails off. Then we're going to cut over to Shivon. The Shiver. The Shivster. Ooh.
Sure.
Sure.
Waking up at my new place because I don't know where else to be.
And as you do, and as you wake up, and you have done so the other nights, for a split of a second, you almost feel like he's whispering in your ear, like it's time to wake up.
I think I just pull the cover, just pull the cover over my head and just scream a little into it, and before getting out of it. I think picking up one of his t-shirts instead of her own.
And as you do so, you're like, all of a sudden, it's when people disappear before or die before they should. They also leave traces of their last actions. You see a pair of shoes that are not neatly stacked, but almost like shoved a little bit to the side. Some old, almost like Converse sneakers, like almost shoved under the bed. Probably forgotten about. And again, that feels like your heart sinks a minute. It's like, he did that. As you pull on one of his t-shirts. That doesn't really smell like him because they are clean. But they smell of like him, but not him.
Yeah. I'll pull on a pair of blue jeans, and I think I want to... I have a favor that I have on my mind to ask Teresa for if I see her. And so I'm actually looking for some of his latest pieces of music.
You walk into like the living area where also you saw a lot of his music, where he was creative. It was like an all-purpose kind of living room creative space. As you walk in there, all of a sudden you hear that nasty little whisper from that thing that now lives inside you. We are. And you feel like almost like that fine little hairs on your face stand up, and you feel like you are incredibly hungry, almost like ravenous for a second, and then you manage to shake it. A very clear reminder that you are not human anymore. And you have a hunger that lives within you and is insatiable.
I'm having such a hard time adjusting to this. It's...
And as you almost like you're saying it to yourself, you can feel your fangs have just slipped out. And it's like, I have fangs.
Yeah. Fuck you, Aiden, for doing this. God damn it.
You're looking at music, and all of a sudden you hear gunk, 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 gunk on the door.
Trying to beat it down, not thinking about it, trying to stay calm as I go towards the door and open up.
You see a young thing, early 20s, with the glasses, hair now up in a ponytail, black shirt, short skirt, fishnets, duck muttons, messenger bag, chewing a chewing gum, staring at you up and down.
Is it the same girl as the breakfast?
Yep.
Teresa, I presume?
You summoned mistress.
Yeah, sure. Come in.
She walks in, throws her messenger bag very comfortably in one of his chairs.
Well, yeah, by all means. Feel at home. Alexander told me that you've been, well, handling this place in Aiden's absence.
Yeah, someone had to do it. She looks at you defiantly.
And how's that been going?
You know, it's been going.
You care to tell me a little bit about this place, about what you do or did? Well, what do you your responsibilities to the Velvet Rope are?
She almost like she's like snarks. I can't believe this. You know how unfair this is, right?
What is?
She looks you up and down and almost like she walks around you, defiant as hell. I've been waiting for the gift you've been given for years. I've paid my dues. And then he goes up and he changes you and he dies on me? I've given my life for that man. Everything for him. And here he goes and he just gives it all, even me. Like I'm a worn out goddamn shoe that doesn't fit anymore. Pass it on to the next one. Her eyes almost close. You see pain trickles over her face.
He didn't give you away, if that's what you're thinking about.
Really? How much do you fucking know about the world you stepped into? Do you know what's going to happen to me if you don't claim me? Do you? Miss Price?
I get it that whatever
I don't want to
relationship...
She's like, I don't want to feel this way. You just get granted that you can claim me and you can feed me so I can stop feeling like my heart's going to explode every fucking waking second. I need a purpose, Miss Price. And right now, you're it. I've earned it. Don't you dare deny me it. You claim me.
Not with that attitude, I won't.
Then you have condemned me. Good luck with your fucking eternal life. She turns on her heel and grabs her messenger bag. You recognize this attitude.
Yeah. We might have gone off on the wrong foot. Please sit down.
She stops. You hear she exhales. She walks in, a little bit defiant, but she does.
I'll just like point at one of the chairs.
She sits down. A little bit dramatic.
I get that you are frustrated, that you are sad, that you're angry. I have all of those feelings within me. Do you really think it is any different for me? I did not ask for this. I did not want it. But yet here I am and I'm trying to deal, so please, calm your tits and deal as well. We're in this together. At least that's what I assume you want.
Well, are we?
That depends entirely on you.
He's dead. He's dead. And here we are, left in the ashes. And I'm sorry to say, but I'm left with you, a newborn. You barely know anything about this life. And I'm supposed to, what? Take your orders?
Not from the way I see it.
Well, do you know what happens to me if you don't claim me?
I don't, but
They
I
kill
can
me.
imagine.
They kill me, Miss Price. I'm a liability. I'm a bag of meat. I'm nothing.
You don't have to.
They don't love me. They don't care for me like Aiden did. I'll disappear and nobody will know where I went.
So
I'll be the
is it?
meat toy of some fucking ghouled up rat in the sewers for a minute.
What is it you want then?
I want to forget. And your blood can make me forget. And I want to be back on the path of where I was going. It's going to take longer now, but I haven't come this far for nothing.
Why do you want it so badly?
Why don't you? I would do anything to change the place of me and you. You get to see the beauty of the night, the power of the blood. You can create and enjoy the world at as long as you're capable. Lifted above, elevated.
But it is nothing if you don't have anyone to walk it with.
Are you that lonely?
Are you
I
not?
loved him. I loved him, and I loved him in a way that you will not understand. But damn, if I will lay here with a broken back. No.
I don't know you, but obviously, if he picked you, he saw something in you.
I'm resourceful. I have know-how.
If we're going to do this, if I'm going to fight for you, then this is a collaboration. This is a partnership.
She
And you
looks
will
intrigued.
tell me and teach me the ropes of this world, where I don't necessarily know them.
Okay. Claim
Because
me.
even this world, that's one thing. This club is a different beast. And I will need your help. If possible.
We seem to be in need of each other, Miss Price. And there's no reason for it to be prickly.
I would hope not.
Maybe we can ease these nights together, going forward. You need me and I need you.
It seems so.
I'll help you.
And I'll talk to Diana.
Please. I need a resolution to my existence. I don't know if you can understand that when your life hangs in the balance of someone else.
Mine has for the last weeks, so not like yours, of course, but I think we have a lot in common.
All right. What is it that you need of me?
My only plan today was to see and hear and figure out what this place was about and what we should do with it.
Okay, there's a
I
lot.
didn't.
It's a lot. It's going to take a minute for you to wrap your mind around it. What you should do, if I was you, is open it up.
That was on my agenda.
And as soon as possible, send an invite to the big wigs at like a grand opening again on the new management.
Right.
State your claim. It's also a place for you to feed safely. You need that.
Yeah, I'm beginning to figure that out.
Let me start the arrangements.
Yeah.
And then hopefully
yeah,
you
that would be
can
good.
get the answer that I so desperately want from Diana.
Yes. On another topic. Are you the one dealing with all the bills for this place?
Yep.
Do you have any phone bills I could take a look at for the last couple of weeks?
Sure. Landline?
Landline, yes.
All right, I'll
To the
get you-
apartment.
Okay. I can get you all the books, get everything I have, and get it to you. It's going to take me a little minute, though.
Of course. And I have something. I don't know if I can ask this of you, but I'll hear me out and you can refuse me if you find it ridiculous. I want to hear his music, and I want to perhaps get someone to play at, well, not his funeral, but at Diana's when we're going to,
The memorial.
yeah. And I was thinking maybe getting a violinist to play some of his newest music. Obviously, I don't know, I can't really contact them during evenings, so maybe you could find one.
Sure.
And then I'll give her whatever sheets, I guess, of music that I found.
Yeah, she takes it.
Yeah.
Let's start there then.
Thank
See
you.
how we do.
I really hope that we will find the mutual ground and that we will, yeah.
I think
It's going to be a long, yeah, it's going to be a long journey, and I think we're both dealing with the loss of him. And if anything, you know that you can come to me and talk about it. I know you don't trust me, and you don't, as you say, you don't really like me. So
It's not that I don't like you. I don't know you.
likewise, and I'm putting a lot of faith in you.
Same. Yes. I'll get going. I'll do the necessary arrangements and keep you up to speed.
I appreciate that. And here is my number, and I'll just give her a card.
Well, you have mine. She picks up a messenger bag, a bit more not so defiant, more not defeated, but more calm. Have a good evening now then, Miss Price. She nods.
Call me Shiv, please.
Not yet. She smiles, and you recognize the Aiden smile in time. The camera pans out. We're a certain Italian fella that's made a very bizarre barricade in his bedroom.
Yeah, we need to do something about that. He wakes up feeling hungry, feeling annoyed, but too early.
You feel it.
It's
and now
too early.
you also understand what JJ said about being a part of the Venture House. Starvation is not necessarily unknown, and you should get accommodated to being hungry. It sharpens you.
Well, not yet. Later tonight. Back down now. Forces it down, and then he gets up.
Oh, it's almost like you have to plead with it, because it's like, we could just go
Yeah.
just for a minute.
Too early. Probably not even home. No. 4 o'clock. 4 or 5 o'clock. Deep sleep, that's the time.
And you almost get a little bit excited about it, and that freaks you out. Because then you're like, oh my god, I'm a night stalker.
It's like... But the same rush. It's about the same rush he felt when he first started doing breaking and entering, like we started role breaking. But that's kind of about on a much more intense and sort of much more visceral,
visceral level. You're like, oh my god! You like the thrill of the hunt.
Everyone needs to eat. Come on.
Yeah, like it's just food. It's just food.
Self-rationalize.
This makes sense.
Self-justification, the cornerstone of any proper psychopath. He needs to do something about this. And also, in his mind is the conversation with Sean and Shiv from last night. He'd prefer perhaps to wait longer, but before he start poking in the conspiracy behind his sire stuff. But now some things must be put in motion now. Some leads are growing cold that might be explored. The exhibition, as they talked about, was one of them. So he's gonna start up by calling Sean.
All right.
Preferably ruining his hunt by now.
You say if my dog's doing something.
No, it's probably just Sean lurking around in the shadows.
Yeah,
behind
right.
you.
Is it a bit like with children? Because when it's completely quiet, that's the time to be worried.
I can just hear a little bit. I'm like, what are they doing? Okay. Probably something they shouldn't. Yeah, all right. Well, then, Sean, as Angela leaves, your phone rings.
Oi.
Good evening, Sean. It's Chris.
And he's on his way. You're on your way to the alley.
Yeah.
Could we meet up later tonight? Preferably with Shiv as well.
Of course.
We need to resolve. We need to resolve some of the. We had some ideas. Talked to Kate about some ideas last night. We should.
Of course.
Put some plans in motion.
Of course. Just need something to eat first.
Well, should we say 2 hours? I'll talk with Shiv where and text you.
Of course. Just text me. Text me. Do that.
I will. He hangs up and it's like, well, he can't drink coffee anymore, but I swear to God, that guy is on his third pot. And then he's going to call Shiv.
All right. As Teresa leaves, your phone rings.
Hey, Chris.
Evening, Shiv. I just talked to Sean. We should talk again today about what we talked about last night. We should put some plans in motion. There are some leads that are growing cold that we should explore. Could we meet in, say, 2 hours' time?
I mean, I'm available now if you need me. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, Sean was a bit busy. He needed but actually, maybe we could. Yeah, no, let's meet up. Let's wait 2 hours and meet then, because make some deals with Sean first. And I gotta make a couple of phone calls anyway. But can we meet at your club where we talked last? Is that okay?
Yeah. Just text me or call me when you're there.
We'll call you when you're there.
There's a lot of doors that needs to be opened.
Yeah, I'll call you when we get out there. Great. I'll text.
Because there isn't really a bell, is it? Outside. No.
When that is done, he's gonna text the meeting place to Sean, and after that, well, actually, there's only 3 calls he needs to make. He doesn't really have to. We don't have to play them that thoroughly. First one is to JJ to hear if we can have a meeting with her later this evening.
Well, that one we actually can play. You're here. Hello.
Okay. Good evening, Miss JJ. It's Christopher. I wonder if you were available. If you could talk later tonight for a meeting. I have some questions and some things that needs to be discussed, and I believe you are the correct person to discuss them with.
Of course. I'm glad you're reaching out. I'm happy to mentor and guide you in your new life.
Excellent. May I also bring one of the others, perhaps, if it's okay, because we have some questions also concerning our sires that you might be able to help a bit with.
I see. Yes, of course. That makes sense. Yeah. Preferably not at your grandsires' estate.
No. Actually,
do you have a location?
Yeah. Could you perhaps come to? I understand that Shiv has inherited the club from Aiden. I'm sure she'd. I'm sure she'd. I understand it's empty at the moment and not in use, so we could quite probably borrow an office or a table there.
Yeah, for sure. I will be around downtown this evening. Give me a call around 30 minutes before we meet up, and
Excellent.
I'll be there.
Thank you very much. I'll have a seeing you.
Soon, Mr. Muscles.
Bye. And once that's done, he's got some remodeling. It's time to do some remodeling. He's been talking about it a long time. He knows finally has the funds to do it. It's time to do it. But he wants to do it off the books on the QT a bit. So he probably knows someone from the neighborhood who's a contractor, or for that matter, from them. So he calls up one of them and to set up a meeting either immediately or tomorrow or sometime to go over the plans. We don't have to go too much on, but he's
you have 2 hours, so you can you just do that.
Yeah, I can just do this. He's the contractor guy's probably just finished work, so maybe we could just meet at a bar and have a quick talk about the project and explain it to him. So I'll meet him there, and on the way out, he's gonna call his beloved cousin.
Oh, who is a touchstone now?
Oh yeah, it's like, oh no. Lovely little shit.
I love the little shit.
I hate him. I want to punch him, but I can't because I love. But I want to punch him, but I can't.
It's like yo, cuz. Great time, like the hotel room. I got smashed.
Oh yeah, me too. Woke up with a whole company of loggers chopping wood in my head. Is completely
nuts, man. But yeah, what's up, cuz?
We talked about that little job, you know.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
3 o'clock tonight.
Yep, doing
I'll pick you up. I'll pick you up at the pizza place. Maybe be there.
Perfect. I've got my ski mask. I've got my gloves.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk about it then. Let's set over the phone the better.
Sure. Yeah, because we're going skiing in the Alps.
Skiing. Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, he's a numbnut.
I'm gonna have to hold his hand because if I send him off on his own, he's probably gonna end up injuring himself.
Yes, you do.
Well, then it's time to just pop by the bar for the meeting with the contractor on his way to the Velvet Rope.
Yeah. So you do that. We're gonna do the hunt scene with Sean before you all 3 meet up. You get to the alley, which is basically just a big street with a lot of clubs and pubs.
Okay.
You see that this is an actual place in Boston. There's a lot of places here that's like it's the big nightclubs are not popping and jumping on the Sunday.
Of course it's Sunday, so I'm looking more for the rock and roll.
You see more of the brown pubs are definitely open, and you get to the Airy pub. Mm-hmm. I've decided that is in the alley. I'm not sure it is, but now it is. Dorchester Irish Bar. It's historically old and it's a place. It's cool on a Sunday.
Oh, definitely the Irish bar.
I thought that might be your scene.
Of course.
Yeah, you see, it's packed. It's they have music, they have darts. It's early though, but there's still a lot of people. Community feeling.
Of course. Are there anyone in here that seem out of place? Somebody that might be slumming it or something like that.
All right, well then you have to do the.
And that is the normal wits insight.
Yep.
That's... No, it's not a critical...
Do a messy critical and for
No,
public.
it's no critical, just 3 successes. 2 of them comes from the blood dice.
But not a messy.
Not a critical, so no.
Oh, okay.
Just a messy success.
Well, still though. We're gonna play on that.
Yeah, of course it's good. This is...
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna leave you by. Hell no. Give a girl a minute. I need to find my page. I try to usually put a little. Ah, there we go. There we go. No, it's a bestial success.
Bestial success, but of course.
It's a bestial success. So then you might get a compulsion.
A what?
Compulsion.
Compulsion. And that is one thing I haven't read upon.
Compulsion. Do you want me to read a little bit? Because we haven't used this before.
No, I haven't. need to-
Oh no, that's good. That's only bestial failure, not a bestial success. So I can't do a compulsion. So no compulsion.
No compulsion.
But now you know that if you get a bestial failure, there is something called compulsion, and then some bad shit happens. But you get a bestial success, so then you are very successful.
And snarly.
And snarly. So yeah, you're gonna be. You see, there is a young man. He looks more or less like he's backpacking touristy, or because he got a guitar on his side. His coat is. Have you seen this before? He just started like he was like a student. That's I'm gonna live life. I'm gonna live off the land. I'm gonna travel around with my guitar, and I'm gonna learn. It's like old classically like educational travel. But his coat is a bit too nice, and his shoes are a bit too polished, and his eyes are a bit too open and keen.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you have moved over. And you're like eyeing him up and down, a bit like grinningly eagerly.
I think you're a wee bit in the wrong place there, little feller.
Pardon? He's British.
Yeah,
Pardon,
I think I'm going to have to show you the way to the to a bar that's more suitable for the kinds of you.
And you see, he's got a tourist guidebook. I do say, sir, but this is a historical pub, and it's definitely one of the places one should see when one is visiting the Boston's finer things at night.
But I just take my arm around his shoulder and start to not forcefully but convincingly move him out of the pub. You see here, little feller. You seem to be under the British influence, and then here is an Irish bar.
Well, it's like we're kind of.
We're not.
Really?
You see, there has been this war going on the last couple of decades, and some of us come from the homeland, and we're still kind of fucked up about that. So I'm thinking.
It's like,
I'm rolling a manipulation plus persuasion.
All right, your target is 3.
And I'll be using My willpower. Yeah, that's a messy critical. Of 5.
All right. Yes. Then we're back to that.
Yes.
All right. You get outside with it, right?
Yeah.
And then you're starting, and you kind of, because you're massaging him a little bit, and you're like, fuck, he's a tender little shit, isn't he? He's like,
Yeah,
that's a little sirloin motherfucker. And
yes.
He smells tasty.
Yes, and I'm
And you're
thinking
like,
he's starting to think that, oh fuck, I'm in trouble.
yeah, and you see he's kind of looking at you, and he's like, sir, I'm very sorry, sir, but I do apologize. And then you feel like you're snarling, and your eyes go very focused.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an alley just beside.
Yeah.
And you pounce into the darkness with him, and you just clomp down on his neck. And when that Vita hits the top of your mouth, it is like you can't. It's just like you're just almost like you're massaging that little shit, because you're like, it's a fucking last drop. But as you do so, you almost lose yourself to like the pleasure of the feed and like the success of the hunt. You're like, you're gonna kill this boy because you hear his heart. Dum, 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 dum.
No, I force myself to only take 2.
Yeah, but that when that snaps you up,
Yeah.
and I will give you, because this is not according to his. You get 2 stains because it's such a vulgar thing to do.
2 stains. Alrighty then.
And you feel like almost like you recoil of your actions. How easy it was just to give in to the beast, and just you could have killed him easily. Easy. He was so fragile. He was like just like a little scared bunny, and you were the wolf, and it was just a matter of snapping his neck and then feeding and rejoice of the success of the hunt. You see, he's very dazed, and he's like, "What? I'm sorry, sir. I don't think I'm that drunk."
I think you need to get back to the hostel, young sir.
He's like,
And
did I bump my head?
Cloud memory.
Yep.
And
do the thing.
on mortals that I don't need to roll anything.
No, it's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, I do apologize. I feel a bit, did I throw up on you? So I do apologize. I think I need to have a bit of a lay down.
I think you've
Maybe
had one too many
White
Bushmills.
Yeah, that whiskey, sir. And he stumbles up very confused, and obviously you remember to lick on the wound, so he's like, no breach.
Of course.
But you also were clearly aware you could have breached the Masquerade there.
Yeah.
Because you were, like, luckily there was an alley, and you just jumped in the darkness with him. If you could have just like torn him to shreds in the middle of the street, because you're not used to this beast and how powerful it is. You're thrilled and you're horrified at the same time. It's a very complicated feeling. Knowing also that you are not human anymore.
Oh, definitely that.
But there's no shame in the beast. There's more shame in you could have just killed him for nothing. And that there is great shame in.
Definitely is.
Hence 2 stains.
Then
Before the meet, hold on. Before the meet, if you're not going to do anything specifically.
I was thinking about giving the sheriff a call.
Yeah, we'll do that before a little break. Yep. You call him?
Yeah. As I got his number from...
Yeah, you did. You hear like a hush little thing. Yes, Mr. Deanson.
Yes, Mr. Sheriff.
Sheriff, how cute is it?
Thank you.
Getting new names.
Trying to be as cute as possible. That's me. I was wondering if I could have a meeting with you. because I want to...
Something you want to confess, Mr. Deanson?
No confessions, more an offer of service.
Oh, I do not get surprised much these nights. But
No.
that indeed is very surprising based on our last interactions, Mr. Deanson.
No, I actually, our last interactions have been most clarifying for me personally, so that's why I wanted to have a meeting with you.
Well, you have surprised me, and that in itself, I think, grants a little tete-a-tete. You will have it.
When and where?
Do you want it to be a public spectacle, or do you want a more private affair?
A private affair seemed to be right on point.
Perfect. Well, you can just deem a location then. If not, I can send you somewhere.
Send me somewhere. I'm curious.
I'll text you an address.
Of course. When?
It suits me.
Well,
Keep your eye on the phone. I was in the middle of something, you see.
of course.
I just have to tidying up some loose ends. Yeah.
Well, continue with your loose ends.
We'll be speaking sooner than you know, Mr. Deanson. I am curious.
Mighty grand of you, sir.
Goodbye.
Toodles.
And then, we're going to have a quick little break. So I've been drinking my liquids. And everybody knows when that happens. We need a break.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just 5 short minutes. Bye. Hi, and welcome back from the break. We're going to go directly into the scene as our 3 fledglings are meeting up at the Velvet Rope. We're going to cut into the scene where they have arrived.
Arrived inside or outside?
Inside.
Okay. Yeah.
When is this feeding thing going to feel normal?
I
Couple of
don't
months,
know.
perhaps? Yeah, I mean, how long?
There's nothing natural about it.
Well, in so many ways it actually is, but doesn't feel that way.
How is drinking blood natural?
Well, as humans, we eat meat.
But we could not eat meat.
Yeah, but then you will get a vitamin B12 deficiency and...
Then you take vitamins.
Yeah, but
I don't think there's
that's
an
not
option
natural.
for vampires.
No, you're right.
Or
we need
is there?
that hemoglobin.
Well, who knows? One day you might be able to make artificial blood. Not that that will help anyone in particular.
Yeah, I think I read something about some books that were written about that. Or was it some cartoons?
And normally I would offer you something. It still takes a lot getting used to this.
Yeah, at the bar, she's at the backlit bar, which is filled with the most exquisite of drinks.
Well,
And
we can still enjoy the smell of it, too, Shiv. So
Do you want to smell anything, Chris? What do you want to smell?
Smell my finger.
I see you have
Smell my finger.
Have
Smell a finger.
a bottle of a 35-year-old Glen McKinnon behind the bar there. Why don't we?
I'll go around the bar and pour a little in a glass and slide it over.
Thank you.
oh,
the
it's
stuff.
beautiful. It's
Wait a minute.
aromatic and gorgeous.
If we drink on someone who's drunk, will we then experience the intoxication of alcohol again?
Do you want to?
Yes, and how am I feeling regarding that?
I mean, I was never one for a hangover, but
you're a bit chirpy.
and we haven't maybe seen him chirpy for quite some time.
No, he's a bit like
A little bit more than he usually is.
I mean, Chris, I know you won't like. I guess you won't miss the hangovers.
No, I won't miss the hangovers. I do miss the
getting
veal
drunk.
ragu, the pasta bolognese.
cannelloni.
Well, let's talk about something else before I start salivating blood here. Regarding what we talked about last night.
Yeah, I've contacted the sheriff. And
Excellent.
I am going to try to put myself in his service.
But that
Smart.
guy,
Yeah. He's the one
you're
with the
tougher
knowledge.
than you look.
It's a smart play, I'd say, Sean. It's a smart play, and that, and I'll also say rather you than me. But that guy gives me the creeps.
I give him quite a surprise then in that regard. So yeah, I think I'm actually the right person to do this.
Yeah, I think so. Your solid disposition will probably help.
I will.
No, I was thinking about first of all, we should learn more about Osiris and their relationship as well. I talked to JJ this evening and invited her to ask her, could I have a meeting with her if you would like to be there as well, so we can ask some questions. I'm sure she has some knowledge and some information she can give us on Osiris that we do not have, and on the position they found themselves in.
Yeah, but she was kind of.
I would like to come.
Yeah,
I would like to.
you could get her to meet here, perhaps, if that's
I think
okay
she
by
was
you.
kind of really didn't hate Dean.
She's certainly warmer to us as well than the prince is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also I have some dealings that I have to talk to her on other matters as well. So it wouldn't make sense just to get it all done in efficiently in one fell. So we can get her to meet her. I know she's going to be downtown in the area here tonight. So when we're ready, you can just give her a call, and she'll probably be here within half an hour.
Yeah, right.
The other thing is the whole. We talked about trying to find out we didn't find where the art came from or what shipment was coming from when it was coming to the gallery, but perhaps try to backtrack it if they have not been. I may not have been that careful taking it out that they were taking it in.
I don't know where Trixie is staying, but I think I know how to get in contact with her.
Ah,
that's good. Of course, there's one small problem of that, since we've learned that the place sits on top of the Elysium. We really can't use any of
Does
our
that mean
powers
the
inside.
Does that mean that the actual museum, the public museum, is part of that?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea,
but remember, they said they couldn't help us. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything inside.
No,
That's true.
Exactly. So we might need some. We might not. We can't actually use any powers in it, but we can.
It's like how the tables have turned, because now it's like you understand their conundrum. We need some human folk.
Yeah. What we need is three people.
I'll ask the sheriff about that.
At the very least, we
Of the
and we
rules.
can also ask about what on earth is it exactly that Dean was sentenced for? I mean,
Yeah, because he was framed, but for what?
Allegedly framed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
I mean-
guys know he was framed. Or
Yep.
do you?
I'll certainly believe
Well,
so.
okay. Chris is not going to raise this particular sort of, but in his mind, he's not doubt that he was framed in the sense that someone might have provoked the incident, meaning that he sort of was forced into a situation where he ended up breaking the Masquerade. So technically, he might be guilty, but it would never happen if no one had actually sort of set up the dominoes to fall in that manner. So, but he's not gonna risk an argument over that sort of details. So he's gonna go wrong with framed. And yeah, but everything outside, of course, the area around. And I thought also about the security firm they used, which was hired, I understood. Worst comes to worst, we might have to try to find out a way to, well, get a peek at their records. That sort of job Trixie certainly would be able to help.
Yeah.
They're not protected in any ways, at least that we know of.
No, just that they're very proficient
Exactly.
and very good at what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you'd like to sell a bit of a score with those bastards.
Well, I was the one causing the trouble, so
And she got out of it.
Oh, come
Pretty
on.
damn
Such a
elegant.
lovely painting, how can I not expect anyone to steal it?
I mean the ones that I want to pay back from it are the ones that shot me 2 times that night.
Yeah, do we know any more exactly who they are? Because I'm guessing they might have been, I mean, they might as well have been mercenaries as well. I mean, that might be mercs. It might not necessarily be minions of the...
No, I would believe mercs. Leave as little trail as possible.
So they might even
Maybe
help.
that's something to ask
that-
the sheriff about as well.
Yeah.
Loose lips sink ships.
Mm-hmm. You can't. So yeah. So those are the avenues that I'm thinking of. But should I give JJ a call and have a meet us there?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
He picks up the phone and calls JJ.
2 rings and then you hear, Mr. Masters.
Evening, Jade. Well, we're at the Velvet Rope right now, and both I and Siobhan and Sean. So if you could come over when it suits you,
Can you give me 20 minutes?
no problem at all.
Perfect.
Thank you. She'll be here in 20 minutes.
I also think maybe we should ask her about this House of the Dark Throne. What was in your notes yesterday? I mean, I can always ask Diana or Alexander, but maybe JJ also knows something about it.
House of the
Yeah.
Dark Throne.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
Christopher
said
gets a
that it-
flashback then. Pardon, I'm just going to intervene.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
in
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
You saw
It's
he said,
the-
it couldn't be, no, never, and then she slammed it.
Yep. So we could ask, and that you might know. I'm guessing it connected to some way to the effect it had on Ophelia. So yeah, definitive.
I mean, there's so
Definitely do
many
that.
threads, and I don't know if they're all connected, but I'm sure interested in figuring out what it's about, regardless.
Well, it certainly ties into what happened. I mean, it's the only possible.
And you
It's one of
said
the few
she was-
concrete
she
leads we
was-
have. I mean, without, well, as concrete as it gets, it's one of the actual leads we have. So yeah, so that's a good idea.
And you said that Ophelia was upset about this. That she would
upset, scared. I mean,
investigate it
yeah,
herself. Yeah.
she wouldn't talk about it, and not talking about it since that. Well, it's serious, whatever it was.
I'm guessing maybe, well, that could mean a lot of different things, but maybe it is the wisest to ask someone of your clan and not bring it elsewhere right now.
Yeah, I
If
think
she
that's a good
was
idea
so
as well.
worried about
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly not something that's it clearly it's not directly connected to the clan and to our clan, to my clan. So it's, I mean, so you're less chance of stepping on any toes or alerting any enemies by talking to her, I guess.
And maybe ask her about it before. I mean, we'll figure out based on her reaction if it's something you want to bring to the sheriff as well, if it's something you want to keep from him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You might trust him, but I certainly do not.
Plus, I mean, it doesn't hurt not to give him every piece of information.
No, of course we of course we have to siphon the right information to give to him.
Exactly.
Certainly, the asking about your sire's violation on the Masquerade is the frame up. It's definitely there, and also potentially, I mean, it would be natural for you to ask about his enemies and stuff like that. And that would be natural enough.
Yeah.
Moments later, there's a knocking. You hear it. This is hard, but it's all the way outside.
I'll go and open up.
You see it's JJ. She's wearing a white shirt, almost button up, a leather coat, black pants, small heels, not big heels. Hair, always like kind of slicked back. She's always having like not too much makeup on. It's almost like she doesn't wear it at all.
Come in.
Miss Price.
JJ.
She enters. The gang is back together again.
It would seem so.
It's good to see some familiar faces as well in our new existence.
I think it's important for you to settle into your new nights, Mr. Masters, Mr. Deanson.
Thank you. Please sit down. We've, like I said on the phone, we've been talking a bit and trying. We would very much like to learn a bit more about our sires. We were going on to such short time with them,
you were
especially
robbed. Terribly robbed.
Exactly, and also a bit about if you could tell us a bit about their relationships between each other. I mean, clearly they were tied together in some way.
It's a long history there.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to break any confidence.
She looks a little bit awkward when she's
It's not like I'm not asking you to break any confidence or anything like that, but any.
Is there anything that Shiv has read? Because she's been reading through his journal. Is there anything specific that's new?
What you have diverged a little bit is you understand that him and Ophelia, when they were human, they were engaged.
Right.
Then she disappeared.
Okay.
Very unclear how long.
Yeah.
And then he entered the night. And he found her again.
Mm-hmm.
But then much had changed.
Yeah.
But you don't know exactly what that means. And you don't know how long she had been together with Dean.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you get? Okay, so... yeah. I have to admit... for me, it's very important to honor the memory of the dead. And I think you three understand that I had great, great love for Ophelia.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. We were wondering more about this crisis, this hidden enemy, this whoever made this move against Miss Masters, against Dean and Aiden. I mean, if you had any idea who could
she
be...
almost like she leans on the bar for a minute. I'm not surprised that something horrible happened in the end. I warned her so many times.
Warned her about what?
Find love by all means. It's a blessing to the ones who find it. But with Dean, it will never end well.
Why?
So
Well, I almost feel like I am betraying, but this is history and it's... All of their sires were known in another city prior to this.
On this continent or Europe?
Europe. Thomas Svensson and Montgomery Masters were fighting for the same position of a city. They fought differently in accordance to their houses and clans. Mr. Masters came up on top. This didn't sit well for a long time. Just, well, do wits subterfuge. Don't we have subterfuge? Do we have empathy? What do we have? Let's have a look.
We have subterfuge, mental and wits.
We don't want subterfuge. We don't want lying. We want to read. So we want.
Then it's insight. Insight is like
yeah.
deciphering people's emotions.
Insight. Yeah.
Wits or what?
Oh, just one red die.
Yeah, wits, insight.
6 successes.
6 successes.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I have lovely bonus.
Yes, the lovely star dice.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you have
Chris is
two of
not
them.
paying much attention. He only got a 1 success.
He is like, you're just fascinated about this tale of like, oh, your house came on top. Of course it did. You come from an astonishing bloodline.
Yeah. Like that, and suddenly sort of
You probably
remember
haven't
something
read
from
that
his.
much Shakespeare either.
Yeah,
so.
no, but that's probably what happened. He got really get sidetracked by trying to remember what his high school English teacher said about the Montgomerys. No, the Montagues. Yeah, Montagues. That's it. And the capitulates. No, that's not quite
Sean
right.
did get 6 successes.
Oh my god, okay. He is then trailing off in his mind's eye about stuff. You clearly see she is not. She's stopping constantly, almost like she's thinking very quickly, like, don't say that. No, don't say that. No, don't say that.
Feels to me, JJ, that there might be some details missing. That might be of importance.
It's almost like she pushes back and she gets up. It's difficult to talk about these old things.
Of course it is.
It was before my time as well.
But there is. You must remember that we have to learn from the past so we don't repeat the mistake of our sires and grandsires.
To me, it seems like even though our background and our embrace stories are probably widely different from this and our situation, they also, well, at least some of them knew each other before this life, like we. Belonging to different clans, like us now.
There was another incident, a much darker one after the fact. Mr. Svensson accepted gracefully the defeat of the princedom to Mr. Masters. And all was well for a minute. They prospered, grew in numbers, sired children, and all was well. Until one day it wasn't. And then there was a betrayal. Not by them. From someone else. But the details around this betrayal, Oh, how history repeats itself, she says, almost with tears in her eyes. You see the blood. It was difficult to deem if it was conspiracy or betrayal.
I'll slide over a napkin.
I think that's whatever happened then. It cursed the bloodlines to forever repeat themselves.
What was Toreador's role in this, if I may ask?
Miss Price was a part of the ones that did the sentencing. So was Mr. Svensson and so was Mr. Masters.
Exactly what happened?
I fear if I divulge this old stuff, it will corrupt and taint your minds. This is old.
Were there someone involved in this that is not here now? Was there a party, a player who stayed behind or was somehow involved that didn't?
Someone
Cross over the
bearing a
ocean.
grudge, a very, very old grudge against these three.
We've moved past that. We have healed.
Have you?
Apparently not.
Well, the ones who are here might have, but there might have been more involved. Someone who, I mean, they all left. They were all. There must have been a reason why all these people moved.
When this sentencing was done, when they moved up, this was layered in secrecy. We do not know who did what. We do not know who it was. I only know this because it's been told to me in absolute confidence, and I feel I am betraying so much, but Ophelia is dead, and I fear many great things will still occur. I don't know if it's a curse, if it's magic, or if it's vengeance. I don't know who was accused. They hushed it down so hard that you have to go to the highest hold of the Camarilla to find it out. They feared if it was told, war between the houses would erupt. So the three houses united in a front, never disclosing who this traitor was.
But if they're united, then I guess still the old wounds between Dean Sire and Mr. Masters.
She's like, I said they united, Miss Price. I didn't say they agreed.
Well, love is also uniting. This should be.
I fear that Ophelia and Dean's love was bringing the clans together again, and they did not want it because they feared this deep, dark secret might leak.
And who are they? They're clan elders?
I feel like I'm talking in riddles. It's just very difficult to talk about these old things. I wasn't there.
I understand. But
And I've only been told slivers of this. Even speaking of it, it feels like we're undergoing treason.
there's also a second possibility, though. Not only that, the potential of reuniting the clans could, well, if there are some hitherto unknown parties to this with a long grudge, we might have feared what such a strengthened unit, if it's a unit survived, if not the question of the betrayer came out, if they managed to move past their old differences and truly unite the clans, they would be so much stronger. Could they?
Of course, if they had the possibility. And the timing is, well, the timing is something, isn't it, Mr. Masters?
Yeah, how so do you mean in as a relation to?
Sometimes I wish there was windows. She looks in the The dungeon of a club you're in.
And Chris shortly thinks the exact opposite of his experience in his apartment. Sometimes push the word at it.
The old ones are being called home.
Cool.
The timing feels... I feel it's beyond my reach at the minute, but I'm vigilant.
Called home, back to their old city.
To the homeland.
If we were not here, what would happen to... Who would take over from them? Because they have...
She shudders.
Would that fall on you for your clan?
If they didn't gift us with you three as a remedy, like a band-aid on a gaping wound, the city would be turmoil. It still could be.
But who would take over for your clans?
Well,
I want to hear this answer, Chris. I'm sorry.
I would step in only for as just a seat warmer until they would send someone.
And
Nobody
for
wants
the
that.
gangrel? For the Toreador?
For the Toreador, for yours. All too young. Alexander.
it's a bit different there, though, isn't it? Because both the primogen of the Toreador and the Gangrel clan still...
No, but I'm
live,
thinking
yes.
it when Diana has retreated, when Miss
Yeah, yeah.
Masters is
I
gone, when
understand.
everyone is gone, who would have taken over?
Next
No.
in command. Muriel for the Gangrel.
You for
I
the
understand.
Ventru.
I understand what you're thinking, but I must admit, I'm a bit more intrigued about the concept of if these are going called back home now, you say, if something's pulling them back. Maybe someone didn't want them united. Maybe someone
But
wanted them
that's-
weakened.
That's what he says. I don't like the timing of this. I don't like the timing one bit.
Or
It feels-
perhaps, or as you said, perhaps someone who wants Boston simply. Some other persons. Because if they
do
leave,
not
their
know.
children dead, fledgling junglings like ourselves, or you are not near of their power and experience left, Boston would be ripe for the picking.
There must always be a threat of the Anarchs and the claws of the broken Sabbath still willing to try.
House of the Dark Throne.
Does that tell them? Oh, sorry.
Yes. Yes. It's like, oh, it's the Black Lily.
I'm new to this. So please, indulge me.
That's the name of our house.
So Nosferatu.
Do they usually go spraying their names all over town?
But it wasn't sprayed, was it? It was stamped into the manhole cover.
Oh, my bad.
It's clearly marked. It's clearly marked the domain, and like a message to all other vampires to, well, here we rule. I'll let
Do
you
we know
that.
this, or is this just an assumption?
That's my assumption.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but that would be a fair assumption. It's a statement that it entered this domain. If you're not, well, ask permission, enter at your own accord. Of course, there are the hospitality laws, but if you enter such a place and someone deems you foe, Many things can be said in the dark that isn't true.
Of course.
You do
How
not go
united are the
calling where they live.
Nosferatu? Are they a monolithic structure or are they individuals?
They are very loyal to the Black Lily and the Duke.
So the Duke, being the sheriff in town, if traces of if this investigation would trace back to the Black Lily, where would his
As
loyalty?
far as I know of him, he is loyal to the Camarilla and the laws. He wouldn't be put in such a position if the prince deemed him. He's been the sheriff for God knows how long.
Yeah, that's exactly the same impression I got of him, that the laws and the city and the Camarilla is
Absolute.
I'm going to let you in on a little, and I will ask you to keep this quiet for now. I asked before being turned, this dark throne clue sort of fell into our hands while exploring. And we showed it to Miss Masters, and Ophelia was quite nervous, taken aback by it.
Maybe give her...
Yeah, you see, we found this manhole cover with this stamped on it, very close to the place where Miss Masters was attacked, and their painting attempted to be stolen on the night of the gala opening.
Do you think it is a coincidence, or...?
One of the people who, well, the man behind the attack, on the ground, was a Russian mobster named Dmitry Vasily. He disappeared after the attack. He wasn't found dead. He was just gone. And I've once since then seen him. And I would not call what I saw alive, but nor will I say that he was of our kind. He was, I can't even describe him, he was gaunt. He moved quickly, but almost this black ooze coming from his orifices, his mouth.
That doesn't sound like a ghoul.
No, not at all. Quite. It felt different, but wrong. But anyway, the only way he could have, the only sensible way for him to get away from the place, the car he was standing by blew up. I mean, everyone else of his men died, but he just disappeared.
How many have you spoken of this to?
We three know it, and Miss Masters. And that is it. Who Miss Masters might have talked to it about, I don't know, but I do not believe she would have offered such an information freely or openly to anyone. She might have trusted Dean, but I suspect few else.
Right now, that information should not leave this room to anyone.
Not even to the sheriff.
What will you do with that information?
Not yet. I need to check something.
But tread lightly. Whoever is behind this have already orchestrated the death of 3 others.
Because there is either this person just got snagged by one of the underdwellers and kept in a state of gold. Who knows? Or it's worse. And I don't want to go with worse yet, so I don't.
I understand.
Well, I don't want this to jump the gun.
Certainly not. Plus, even if it wasn't just a mere coincidence and someone picking up some leftovers, it might not be.
Speaking perhaps of the betrayal that then leaks out of the Black Throne.
Either that, or someone might have. I mean, I'm sure people sell all kinds of services, whether it be keeping secrets or offering passage. And there might just have been. There might have just been as much porn as anyone else in this. If it doesn't necessarily mean they're directly connected to it anyway. But
there's one that could have known if this is linked to the Underdwellers, the Nosferatu. But I don't think she'd likely give you that information if she had it.
Of course.
You're referring to Queen of Bones?
Indeed.
yeah, I've heard talk about her. She
keeps things.
Well, if you stay in the shadows and hide, you're bound to come over lots of trinkets and informations and tidbits.
The reason why I'm telling you to be cautious is the Nosferatu is the biggest clan in the city.
Strange
if it's leaked that you're talking, and believe you me, the Black Lily is one of the oldest we have on this, well, I'm not going to say continent, but she is, and she should have gone ages ago, but she just don't want to leave.
How old, if I may ask?
I don't even know. She shouldn't be here.
I mean, surely they have seats of power. Both one of theirs fulfills the role of sheriff and as well won the honorary title of Keeper of Elysium. But still, the prince is burnt through.
Yeah,
From
but
one of the weak, from one of the less.
shadow rulers.
Yeah.
The prince, that's just like the prince has been an excellent ruler, and he has done great things for our clan.
Only for your clan?
For Camarilla. I just referred to Christopher specifically. The loss of Ophelia hit him also terrible.
I can understand that.
And he spends a lot of his time now, she says, very convinced, contemplating of his next move.
He, during the conclave, it seemed to me like he might suspect Aiden's involvement in this. Do you know of...
There's rumors, of course.
What rumors?
That he was affiliated, whatever Dean did. And instead of facing the music, he took the coward's way out.
I think it's more to it than that. For the
As you say, these are not my words.
No.
I'm surprised. These.
I know.
So they believe that they don't believe Dean was framed, or do they?
The evidence, Miss Price, is very compelling.
Of course it is. And also you don't want to see the danger behind that.
And either you question stability or you create havoc.
I mean, it seems to me, based on the story, that you... Well, you didn't actually give us much of a story, did you? But it does seem that it repeats itself in some way.
Of course it does. The story unknown.
Elements.
It's bound to repeat itself.
It's the same structure.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's very much the intention. I believe this is design and not prophecy or magic. Someone wanted irony injected into that vengeance, or did the plan recreate the whole affair from once before in similar manners.
But you say that the ones that were part of that lived through it, that was Mr. Masters.
The ones that I know of that have been named.
Svensson and Diana.
So the possibility are that there are other kindred in this city that also has, well,
most likely
common origin.
The thing is now, because the old ones, they leave, and this was a very long time ago. There aren't that many that would remember or even were there.
What city are we talking about?
Cities.
Yeah, in Europe.
It was a part of Berlin.
It's silently inside. Thank Christ it wasn't France.
Yeah.
When was it?
It must have been at least, as I said, I wasn't there. It has to have been at least 200 years ago.
Were Ophelia and Dean and Aiden, they must have...
Fledglings. Because if I remember, I get that right. I gave their, how old would they be? No, they didn't make 200.
No, because they're 1820s. Right?
1820, no. So they weren't there for that.
Just shy, not long.
Yeah. So yeah, because I said everything should be kind of here.
It might have been just like about 200, just under 200, so yeah. So then they left and came here.
Yes. Not long after.
But
If
I
there
asked,
was this animosity between them, why settle in the same city?
I think there is more elements to the story.
Apparently it
You
is.
see, there was after that. I know this for a fact. There was no love between Mr. Masters and Mrs. Svensson ever. There was pure out animosity.
well, you might settle close, but have your friends close, but your enemies closer. But also, it might also been beneficial for them in some sort of way to, if they all have such a dark secret or something they like to stay buried. Remaining close is sort of a way to make sure that everyone is, well, not talking. Yeah, exactly. Moving away, you might risk yourself more, not knowing if someone might want to retaliate.
There's only one thing I know except for this, and again, I think I feel really awkward, and I'm sorry I sound very vague. It's hard. I wasn't there, and I've been given crumbs over the years. This is not talked about, mind you. Please do not run around in our society.
Of course not.
Airing this. You will find yourself in a very sticky situation real quick.
We will not talk about it. Plus, we have no intention of tipping off anyone who might be involved in this. That we are.
Because I am very concerned now when you said the House of the Dark Throne. There was one more that came, and that was the Black Lily. From Berlin.
So 4 from different houses reuniting in Boston.
You could say it would be peculiar. Coincidence.
You say it mildly.
Also, a completely new continent, new world. It might be reassuring as well to have something of your old life around, even if it.
Sometimes it might just be they just start a new, heal, move on, prosper.
I mean, friendship between clans can't be that bad. I mean, Ophelia and Dean and Aiden and Trickster, they're all good friends, family even. They were.
And sometimes it's encouraged. I'm
not shying away from.
No, I'm just saying that the animosity between Mr. Svensson and the prince is not a secret.
So I'd better not fall in love with Christopher then.
Try not to.
It's going to be hard.
I know.
Look at that
Such a price
It says
catch.
ironic.
Look at that charming fella.
Yes, he
Well,
oozes
he's
charm.
he's
Yeah,
cracked
yes.
there.
It was not a secret, and it was from both parties.
This might just be interesting for me, but I have to ask. I know a little bit about Aiden and Ophelia's background before they were introduced to this world, and Aiden said he was on a dark path for a long time. Do you know his relationship to Dean? I mean, I know 150, 200 years, it's a long time to be around your ex, and he probably accepted Dean, or did he? Do you know, did you have a feeling of their relationships? And even Ophelia and Aiden, I mean, they were friends, sure, but...
Oh, Aiden loved her. At one point, I think he would have done anything for her.
And apparently vice versa.
Ophelia for Aiden?
No, for Dean, I thought I was...
Yeah, no, she was like...
I got the confused.
For a long time, that was a different situation. Yeah, everything changed when Ophelia and Dean started their story.
When did this happen? How long were they involved?
50 years, perhaps.
How long had Mr. Montgomery Masters been with Prince?
In
How long
Boston,
now? Yeah.
since they got here.
Well, so that's a vacuum then. Well, we certainly have a lot to think about here. And like I said, we will tread carefully. We will not talk of this
Please
amongst
do
anyone
not.
else. Now.
I feel I haven't divulged, yeah. Things that it feels wrong in my mouth. It feels like I'm telling stories that isn't mine to give. And I'm just...
There's not many left to give.
That's the thing, you see. I'm still very, very worried, and I'm working very, very hard to keep the city safe. Young Mr. Master safe. And by default, you two safe. The safety is if the city is strong, and we know if this hidden danger, if we can find it, get rid of it, heal the city, we can finally move on.
Yes, but I think in doing so, one must expose this hidden enemy. We must learn the truth there, because if its goal, even if that's goal is just a personal vengeance against those three, or if it's some grander design for the control of Boston.
So
look at how much damage they already made.
Yeah, the damage is done. The city is in peril.
And it could get worse.
I expect
worse.
danger. I expect there will be moves on the city.
We must be vigilant.
So should you. The
And
night
there's
at the minute is not safe for any of us.
Also, there was another reason I wanted to talk to you. It's a more personal one, though, but it's tangential to staying safe and my future. It concerns the ghoul Elizabeth Fairchild and her
Yes.
fate.
I knew we would have this conversation at a point. Her life hangs in the balance, so to speak.
Yes, I was one. I mean, I know that I'm young and cannot ask for much in any sort of be granting any sort of favor, especially not the peculiar circumstances of our embrace. But I would very much like, when the time comes, if possible, to claim her. I would be needing someone that can help me, someone who knew Miss Masters' dealings well, someone with human connections. And even though she will no longer be masquerading as Miss Masters, which will be no problem with a haircut, change of style, and some contact lenses for her to step into another personality. I mean, she's been most competent in her dealings so far, and I have utmost faith that she would continue to be able to do so and help me, because I clearly will be needing someone to manage my affairs that can actually take a step out in sunlight without going up in flames.
On this point, Mr. Masters, you need to ask your prince.
I know, and I was wondering if you could give me some tips on how to go about doing that by ensuring as most successful outcome as possible.
That there's value in her. Because right now, I'm presuming he's arranging now there to be an accident, so Ophelia Masters disappears from the
That would be my guess as well.
news and the world. And it would be beneficial to have a body, Mr. Masters.
That it would. But
And
like I
if
said,
if you deem her useful, I'm sure you can convince your grandsire that this is something you could ask for.
excellent. I'll ask for an audience.
I think if you could make that situation so that he didn't have to deal with it, create a plausible death for Ophelia.
It would probably be better for him
Less
as well,
work
not
for
having
him.
to do that as well.
I think that would be a good way to sweeten the deal, so you can.
I'll ask him if in return for being granted the favor of taking her in, that I could take upon myself to ensure that the details around that particular, accent was taken care of, so he didn't have to. I mean, I would assume as well that it's not a pleasant task for someone to.
No, I think that's
Go
a way
for it.
in for you.
Well, thank you very much. And exactly, I'm sorry about this, but I have not had much dealings with my grandsire, and he is after all the prince, and I'm but a youngling. The best way to go about seeking an audience, are there any particular, well, what should I say, formalities that should be should be observed? I know a bit about this, about some certain similarities between the situation and my mortal connections, but
Call to the manor, ask for an audience. I'm sure he will grant it.
excellent.
You're his last of his bloodline.
Mentally Chris Addis for now. Well, thank you. I'm sure we won't keep you any longer, but we should talk again when we have if we uncover anything.
Do so, and I'll also, if there's any more danger and I find something that will help you be safe in the night.
It is much appreciated.
But please, the information you have been given, be careful with it.
It will not leave this room, and it will not be divulged any
History
further.
for our kind can be used as a weapon in the right hands.
Well, they already did that with a painting. Imagine what I can do with this.
Right. Well, I bid you good eve.
Good evening.
Stay safe, young ones.
You too.
Likewise.
And she says, I can't say it. Shimmies. She. No, she.
I hope she does.
Struts. She struts.
Yeah.
None the wiser.
Sean, maybe you can have a little talk with your grandsire.
Yeah, he seems pretty vacant at the time, but I'll have to give that a try.
A lot of information. Even though it was pretty vague. I think the only ones that we can actually get something from is our grandsires at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that they will be willing to hand that over to us freely.
I wouldn't put my money on it.
As the characters sit there and contemplate this vague news, tidbits of an old tale of houses united, betrayed, or betrayal, or united, who knows? It's muddy waters. We're going to end it there. Yes, we are. We're going to end it there. And see what happens next time.
Yeah.
As always, thank you very much. You guys are epic. I'm into it. I'm here for it. Do the grrr. We're doing the vampire stuff. And if you like it, please like. If you want to follow, please follow. And we always do appreciate the comments.
Please ask
so,
questions.
We're here for it.
Yeah. Do anything.
Yes.
Just don't drink hand sanitizer.
Ariane will do anything. You heard it here first. Ask something and Ariane
I will do anything for attention.
Yes, he literally will.
Please
he
just
is
like
an attention.
me.
I think that's a good note to end it on.
Yes. Once again,
I'll get my coat.
All right, thank you guys. Stay safe.
Yes.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.